Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to see OS Unix Lab session 11. In the previous topic we have studied the concept positional parameters, that is when we pass the input as the command line arguments, then it will be stored in these positional parameters. Now in today's topic we are going to study conditional statements in Unix Linux. So we have the following conditional statement in this Unix Linux. If then statement, that is simple if then else statement, that is if else, if else if statement, that is else if ladder, and nested if. So let us understand this one by one. So in Unix Linux, the way to use the conditional statement is included in this way. You need to use here the conditional if statement, if keyword, and then the condition you need to write in a square brackets. The condition should be written in a square brackets, and there must be space here. There must be space, and then set of statement, and you are going to end the if condition with fi. So if this condition is true, then it is going to execute a set of statement. If the condition is false, it is not going to execute this set of statement. Whichever is the next line, that part will get executed. See this example. So in a variable count, we are storing the value 100, and to access the value, we need to use the $sign there. We need to use here the $sign. And see, this is the if condition. There is a space here, include the space, and after square also space, here also space, and you can also see here there must be also the space between the operators. So now count is equal to 100. Now we are checking here whether the value which is stored in count is equal to 100. Yes, in a count we have 100 value and it is exactly equal to 100. That means condition is true, so it will execute. Count is 100. It will display on the screen count is 100, and this is the end of if statement. So when you are using the if statement, just keep in mind the spaces must be there here, otherwise it gives error. See another example. Conditional statement $1. So $1, this is a positional parameter which we have studied in the previous topic. So in $1, which value will be stored? Whatever the input is passed from the command line, that is from the terminal, that value will be stored in the $1. So we are checking here whether the $1 is greater than 100. If yes, then it is going to print on the screen. That is a large number. Then it is going to display the present working directory. Okay, currently on which working directory you are working, and then this is the end of statement. So when this condition is true, it is going to execute this part. Now when condition is false, it is going to execute, it is going to come directly to the date command. So when the condition is false, it is going to execute date command. See example output. So this is your file name with the extension .sh. So this is the file name which you are going to run on the terminal, and this is your command line argument. So this value will be stored in now $1. So this value will be stored in now $1. So check out which value is there in the $1? 15. So whether the 15 is greater than 100? No, condition is false. So it will display now date. So it is displaying the date. Another example. Now this time the command line argument we have passed here 150. So now in $1, 150 is going to store. 150 is greater than 100. So it will print this. It is a large number. So it will print that it is a large number. Now suppose if you don't provide any argument here, what happens? Okay, by default it will be considered as a false condition and it will display the date. If you don't provide any argument, by default it will be considered as a false, and it will directly print the date. Next conditional statement, if then else. So if the first condition is true, if this condition is true, then it is going to execute a set of statement. If the condition is false, it is going to execute the else part. And this is the end of the if statement. So example on that, in a variable count, we are storing the value 99. Now, whenever you are using the if statement, just consider the spaces here. There must be the spaces between the operators and here. So now 99 is stored here. Whether 99 is equal to 100, it is not equal to 100, so it will execute the else part. It will come directly to the else part and it will display count is not 100. If the condition is true, if the count variable has the value 100, then if the count is equal to 100, then it will execute this part. Another conditional statement. Now it is a combination of more than if statements. So more than one if statements are combined here. See, this is the first conditional statement. If this condition is true, it is going to execute this set of statement. If this condition is false, directly it is going to come to the next if condition. So if this next condition is true, it is going to execute statement 3 and 4. If this condition is false, it is going to execute statement 5. And this is the end of if statement. See, we have opened here one if statement. And for another if condition, we have taken here elif. So if you take here elif, so only one end of if statement is necessary. Now if you don't take here elif, if you take here only if, and you declare the condition. Now in this case, you need to take here one more end of if statement. But here in this example, we have taken elif, so only one end of if statement is enough. So if you take separate two conditional statement, then two end if are required. Let us see the example. In the variable count, we are storing 99. So first condition, it will check whether 99 is equal to 100. So condition is false. So it will come to the next condition. Now it will check whether 99 is greater than 100. Now again this condition is false. So it will come to the else part and it will execute count is less than 100. This it will print on the screen. So if this first condition is true, it will print count is 100. If second condition is true, it will print count is greater than 100. Next condition. So this is the first condition. If the first condition is true, then this it will execute. If the first condition is false, it will come to the this condition. See now. This is same like elif only. We have not included here elif. We have just included here if condition, which I told you in the previous. And if this condition is true, it is going to execute statement 3. And see, we have taken here two end of if statement. So this is the difference between the previous elif condition and this if then else condition. So only the difference we find here is, if we use here elif, only one end of if statement is enough. If we use two separate if conditions, then two end of if statement you need to show. See the example. In the count, we have the value 99, and if the count is equal to 100, it is going to print count is 100. See, else if we have used here else if, we have not used here elif. So this is separate if condition. This is separate if condition. We are not used like this way. Okay. So this we consider it as a separate if condition. So if this condition is false, it is going to come here. If this condition is true, it is going to execute this line. Otherwise, it is going to execute else part. So this is the termination of inner if statement, and this is the termination of outer if statement. Now next conditional statement we'll see case statements. So this statement can be used when there are more number of conditions in your program. You can also declare the more number of conditions using the if-else conditions also. But it becomes very complicated and very difficult to understand and to trace the program if there are more number of if conditions and where that if conditions terminate and all. So it becomes very complicated. So you can go for the easy way, that is case statements. So this is the syntax how to use the case statement in the program. So this is the keyword case, and this is the word which is going to match with the patterns, and this is another keyword which is going to see in the patterns now. Now this is your first condition, that is your first pattern. This is your first condition, first pattern, and it must be enclosed with the bracket. This bracket is compulsory. If you don't use the bracket, it gives the error. And then your set of statements, and 2 semicolon is the end of first pattern. This is the end of first pattern. So even this is compulsory. So this is your second pattern with the bracket, statements and end of statements, and so on. And by default, if you want to find out some statement, default statement, then you need to use star and bracket. Star and bracket you need to use, and that is your default statement, end of statement and end of case statement. This is example we'll see. See case $1. So what are the argument you have typed on the command line, that is on the terminal. The first argument will be stored in this, and we will search in now patterns. So if in $1 start is stored, so if in $1 start is stored, then it will execute this part and it will display on the screen starting and end. It comes out of the program. If your argument is stop, then it is going to display on the screen stopping, and then it is going to come out of the program. If your argument is restart, then it is going to display restarting, then it is going to come out of the program. If you provide any invalid input, invalid argument which does not belong to these patterns, then it is going to display by default don't know. It is not going to recognize it. Don't know, end of statement and end of case statement. So your output is, see this is your file name case.sh, and this is your argument start. So as I told you, it is going to match with that start pattern and it is going to display on the screen starting. Now once more, if you run and if your output is restart, if your input is restart, then it is going to display restarting. And if the input is some which does not matches with the pattern or some invalid input, if it does not recognizes, then it is going to display don't know on the screen. This is how you are going to use the case statements. Let us see another example. Write a shell script to accept a number. So you need to accept a number from the user and tell whether it is a single digit number, 2 digit or 3 digit number. So using case statement, you are going to do this. See. So first is you need to accept a number from a user, read num. So that number will be stored in this number, like from single digit number, that is from 0 to 9, and whether it is a 2 digit or 3 digit number. So whichever number it is, that will be stored in this num variable. Now whatever is stored in num variable, that you are going to check against the pattern. You are going to compare this against the pattern. So this number with whichever pattern it matches, that statement will get executed. Now see, the first pattern is this, single digit number, we are going to check here for single digit number, that is from 0 to 9. So the square brackets we call it as wild characters. So we'll study later about these wild characters. For time being, this is the one way to use more than one value for comparison. So if you want to check if the value is between 0 to 9, then use here in between hyphen. So if your number is between 0 to 9, it will print on the screen you have entered a single digit. Now next pattern is 2 digits. See, this is for first digit and this is for second digit. So if the first digit is between 1 to 9 and even the second digit is between 1 to 9, it will print on the screen you have entered a 2 digit number. Now you are comparing this for 3 digit. This is for first digit, second digit and third digit. And all you are going to check between 1 to 9. Then you have entered a 3 digit number. So if the pattern does not matches, it is going to execute this default. Your entry does not match with any of the condition, and this is the end of the case statement. Another example, shell script to accept a number between 1 to 9 and display which number was entered. So you need to accept the number between 1 to 9 from the user, and that will be stored in variable x, and now that you are going to compare with the patterns. So if the pattern is 1, then it will display the value of x is 1. If the pattern is 2, it will display the value of x is 2. Similarly 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if the pattern is 0 or 10, it will display wrong number. Then if the default value, if the pattern does not matches, it will execute default value, that is unrecognized value. And this is the end of case statement. So if the x value matches with this pattern, it will execute. And if the value is between 0 or, this is the OR operator, it will display wrong number. This is default unrecognized value. So in today's topic, we have studied all the conditional statement with various examples. Thank you.